Hi there, this video is to give you just a little bit information on a study abroad, short-term study abroad trip that I'll be leading. My trip is going to Scotland and England. So this course that I'll be leading, the trip that I'll be leading, is through the course College Mathematics, MGF 1106. It's a 3-credit-hour class, Gordon Rule, and potentially could check the box of being your mathematics credit. Depending on your major, if you need college mathematics or liberal arts math, MGF 1106, that could check the box. But also, if you just are looking to take a class in study abroad, this can just be 3 elective credits for you. So either way, you could get something done on your way to graduating. Cost is usually the first thing people ask about, and so my trip cost $3,800, but there's quite a few ways to bring that down. The first one is very easy. It's an $1,800 scholarship that Valencia offers. The Valencia Foundation offers this to students as an incentive to study abroad. The criteria for that scholarship are listed here. Apply by the deadline, be a degree-seeking student at Valencia, you just can't be a transient student, have completed 1 semester within the last year, completed 12 college-level credits by the time of travel, and these credits could be from another institution if that's the case. You have to be 18 when we leave on the trip, and you have to have a 2.5 GPA when you apply. If you meet those criteria, you automatically get the $1,800 scholarship. There is no extra application, no essays that you're writing, nothing like that. It's automatic, which brings the cost of the trip down to $2,000. Depending on where you're going, sometimes round-trip airfare can cost close to $2,000 for an international flight. So that's not too bad, relatively speaking. The $1,800 scholarship is a huge way to tackle the price. The second is Pell Grant students are eligible for an additional scholarship, a Gilman scholarship. This one would take an application, and I would definitely be willing to help anyone through that process. I have yet to have a student go through the process, so I don't exactly know what it entails, but it's something that I would work hand in hand with you to go ahead and try to get. Those scholarships are potentially up to $5,000, so it seems like they would potentially cover the remaining portion of the trip if that's what they would award you. And then I definitely would hope you apply. And the third option I've seen some students use is to create a GoFundMe account. Sometimes people online are just willing to donate to students that write something up about why they're wanting to travel. So those are all options. If you are wanting to make this happen and you plan early enough, you can save week by week and make this a possibility for yourself. All right, so what's included in that price? You have your airfare, transportation like subway or cars within city, also transportation between cities. Any excursion tickets, any activity that we do that's on our calendar would be included. The hotel accommodations when we're staying in London. We are going to 3 locations. We are only in hotels in London. I'll talk about what we're doing in the other 2 locations on the next slide. Your medical insurance while you're abroad, all meals, all breakfast, all lunch, all dinners, it's all included, and then the guide that's coming with us. So essentially everything is covered except for potential snacks that you would want and souvenirs. I tried to make it so this trip, you didn't really have to show up with much money on the trip if you were going to do this. Not all trips include all meals. And the way that I've been able to include lots of meals in certain areas, sometimes I'll just be handing you a certain amount of money and saying, go have lunch on your own, but it's all already pre-included. And another way is through homestays. So the 3 locations we're going to are Edinburgh, Scotland, Kent, England, and then London, England. When we're in Edinburgh and Kent, we will be doing homestays. So we'll be staying with families in those areas. There'll be 2 or 1 student per house. Those students would have a private bedroom where the door can lock. You'll get some personal firsthand experience with locals. It's a very unique experience to do homestays. And sometimes your dinner and lunches will be home-cooked meals from the families, which is pretty exciting. And then when we're in Scotland, you'll have 1 full day to do anything you want with the families. The homestays, to some people, is a little bit of a scary experience. I have worked with this company on the flip side and hosted exchange students myself, so I know that they do a background check. I know they come to the house and verify that the door can lock and make sure that the conditions look like something suitable for a person to stay in. So it's definitely a reputable company. Okay, so here's our schedule overview if this is something you're interested in. The trip takes place in Summer A, but we have some pre-departure meetings on Fridays throughout the spring semester, so between March and May. One of those pre-departure meetings is at Universal Studios because when we're in London, we will be going to the Harry Potter studio tour. So when we're at Universal, we'll have our 2-hour meeting and then we'll be mystery shoppers testing out I don't know, food, their express ticket, different thing. Each person will get a different thing, and then you'll have the rest of the day to spend in the park. And some of that time, you'll have to collect a little information from the Harry Potter areas. I'll explain what the math will look like a little later. But then when we go to the Harry Potter studio tour in London, you'll be able to compare and see what you think. Then the trip takes place May 16th through May 31st. And these are just a few of the things that we're doing. We'll be at a tartan weaving mill. We're doing a rugby stadium tour. We're going to see quite a few castles, go on a loch cruise. It's kind of like a lake. We're going to do 3 pub lunches. We'll visit the Canterbury Cathedral, the Harry Potter studio tour, something I'm definitely excited to do. We'll see the White Cliffs of Dover, visit the Camden Market, canal cruise on Camden Lock, Olympic Stadium tour in London, the changing of the guards, and a Hyde Park scavenger hunt. There'll be a few different scavenger hunts throughout the trip. So all of that stuff is happening on the trip, and then when we get back, there'll be 2 more post-trip wrap-up meetings to kind of recollect all of our information, make sure everyone has everything that they need, and then take care of any other loose ends that we have to through those meetings. So how is this math? How on earth could those activities, which sound like touristy type things, because to be honest, I tried to design this trip and design the course to just entail doing things that sound fun to me and maybe touristy, and then analyzing them through the lenses of the 5 topics in college mathematics. So we have sets, logic, probability, statistics, and geometry. And these are just a few examples, not everything. But with sets, when we go to the pubs, we'll compare using Venn diagrams. When we go to the stadiums, Venn diagrams, your circle pictures that overlap. And there's things in common and things not in common. We'll do this with the castles, with the boat tours, with Harry Potter Studio versus Universal Studios. With statistics, it's not a deep dive into any of these topics. So with statistics, we're going to collect information from the families we stay with. How many internet devices are there in your house? We'll do the same with our houses before we leave. We'll find the mean, median, mode of those things and then compare. We'll do the same with number of children, and we'll get some information from a few grocery store visits as well. For geometry, again, we don't dive too deep in any particular topic. Everyone will get a tape measure, and we're going to find the area of our dinner plates before we leave and compare it to the size of the dinner plates of the families that we stay with. We'll look at the volume of our showers compared to the volume of their showers. And then we'll have a castle and park scavenger hunt to find all the little geometry things that are a part of this course. And then one example for probability is some at the pub lunches. We'll be looking at all the different ways you could order meals. Again, not all of this will necessarily make sense yet because you haven't seen what those topics are, but I promise you this is totally manageable. And so the way I have it set up, in the pre-departure meetings and between meetings, you'll be watching videos like this where you're getting the content. At those meetings, then, we will focus on one chapter at a time. We have 6 meetings. The first one is a little bit more from the SAGE office on safety, stuff like that, getting you oriented. And then the other 5, it's 1 per topic, 1 per 5 of the 5 topics that we cover. And then you'll do traditional homework. And then what we're doing in country is collecting information and doing this analysis instead of tests. So you have no formal tests in this class. It's all just the stuff that we're doing while we're abroad, and then they maybe finish analysis of it when we get home. These are just a few of the places we would be going. We'll see Big Ben, the Edinburgh Castle, Holyrood Palace, Buckingham Palace, the Loch Katrine, Harry Potter Studio Tour, and Camden Lock Market. If you've never seen any of those, I've only seen a few of them, but I'm super excited for this trip. And so if you're looking for more information or how to participate, you can apply online and then pay the $250 deposit at the business office. It'll take a few days for it to cycle back to you saying, okay, you're in the trip, now go ahead and make the deposit. The deadline for the application is December 15th. After that, applications are not accepted at all. And just note that that $250 deposit is part of the entire cost of the trip. It's not an additional thing, that's just part of it. If you're looking for more information, you can contact me at my email address there. It's in blue, so it doesn't look great. It's C.Mortimer and then the number 2 at valenciacollege.edu. If you are wanting to see a little bit more of the math side, what are we doing with math, and then even just the full itinerary of what stuff are we doing every day, I have the full itinerary completely available and ready to email it to you at a moment's notice. So I hope this trip sounds interesting to you. If so, I hope to hear from you soon.